Two new pence coins were introduced in 1971, during the UK's switch to decimal currency. The early versions bore the words Newpence on the reverse to distinguish them from the old system. These coins were made of bronze and featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the motto CHDN. While millions were minted from 1971 to 1981 with the new pence inscription, in 1982 the wording changed to simply 2 pence. So what's the deal with the 1975 version? Here's the catch: no 2p coins were officially released for circulation in 1975. The Royal Mint did not list a mintage for that year. But rumours and confirmed sightings of a 1975 dated 2p coin have made collectors lose their minds. This coin is a phantom, a mystery, and a potential 6-figure jackpot. Let's rewind a bit. After the UK went decimal in 1971, coins went through an identity change. The 2 new pence design remained consistent throughout the 1970s. It wasn't until 1982 that the words were changed to 2 pence, because by then, the public had adjusted to decimalisation and the new was no longer necessary. Each year from 1971 to 1981 saw the Royal Mint produce these coins for circulation, except for certain years like 1975, when coins may have only been minted as proof sets or trial strikes, and not for general use. Now here's the kicker: the Royal Mint has no official record of any 1975 2p coins entering circulation. Yet, a handful of examples have surfaced in private collections and auctions. How did they get out? Possibly through internal error, mint sets, or test runs that were never meant to reach the public. Their unofficial status makes them incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. The 1975 2 new pence coin is one of the great numismatic mysteries of the United Kingdom. Only a few coins bearing the 1975 date have been reported. Experts speculate that these may have been trial coins or unrecorded proof coins accidentally released. Some believe they were part of private Royal Mint presentations or collector set prototypes that somehow escaped into circulation. Because these coins were never intended for public use, their value skyrockets among collectors. In the world of coin collecting, rarity drives price, and in this case, rarity is almost absolute. Some coin forums and verified numismatic sources have reported a 1975 2p coin being valued at over £80,000 to £100,000, $100,000 to $125,000 when authenticated. Even coins from 1971 or 1983 with rare minting errors have fetched several thousands, so a confirmed 1975 dated 2 new pence coin. That's the holy grail. Although extremely rare, there are reports of 1975 2p coins surfacing in private auctions and among high-end UK collectors. When one does appear, the price can go through the roof, especially if the coin is in uncirculated or proof condition. Verified by a third-party grading service, like PCGS or NGC, backed by provenance or a known collection. One rumour in the collector community speaks of a private collector offering £100,000 for a flawless 1975 specimen. Though the Royal Mint hasn't officially confirmed mintage numbers, there is general agreement among numismatists that fewer than the 10th of may exist, and possibly as few as 2 to 5 in private hands. This rarity puts the coin in the same league as the 1933 penny, a legendary UK coin with a known value above £200,000. In short, if you find a genuine 1975 dated 2 new pence coin, especially with sharp detail and correct weight, around 7.1 grams, you've got a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. So what should you look for? White heavy checkmark obverse, front features Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, common across all decimal coins from the 1970s. White heavy checkmark reverse, back should say New Pence with the iconic Prince of Wales badge. White heavy checkmark date, look carefully at the date, a genuine 1975 will be crisp and clean. White heavy checkmark edge, plain, as is standard for 2p coins. White heavy checkmark weight and diameter, 25.9 mm diameter, approximate 7.1 g in bronze. Be wary of fakes. Only a handful of coin experts and grading services can authenticate a true 1975 2p coin. So if you even suspect you have one, send it to a grading authority immediately. Also, always check old proof sets and inherited coin collections. Many valuable rarities hide in Grandma's attic. Let's start with a bit of background. The UK 20p coin was first introduced in 1982 as part of a modernisation of British currency. Prior to that, there was no coin to bridge the gap between 10p and 50p, which made transactions clunky. The new 20p coin provided a convenient middle denomination. It was a 7-sided coin, similar in shape to the 50p, but smaller and lighter, weighing just 5 grams and made of cupro-nickel. The reverse featured a crown Tudor rose, designed by William Gardner, while the obverse showed the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin. It was the very first year of the 20p's release, and it went into circulation smoothly, or so it seemed. But here's where the story takes a mysterious twist. While millions were struck and circulated, a handful of strange error coins and rarities from 1982 have been reported, and collectors have placed values on them that soar into the hundreds of thousands. Although the 1982 20p coin isn't considered rare in its standard form, specific error variants from that year have turned heads and wallets in the collector world. What makes them so valuable? White heavy checkmark mule errors. Some coins from 1982 are believed to be mules, meaning they were struck with mismatched obverse and reverse dies. These mistakes are incredibly rare and almost always escape notice until collectors find them in pocket change decades later. White heavy checkmark off-center strikes and misalignments. A small number of 1982 20p coins show signs of serious minting errors, like being struck off-center or with rotated dies. These types of mistakes are known to fetch tens of thousands of pounds at auction. White heavy checkmark wrong metal planchets. In extremely rare cases, 20p coins from 1982 have been discovered struck on foreign planchets, including bronze and aluminum, likely due to minting errors when switching dies between countries or denominations. A legitimate error coin from 1982, especially with a mule pairing or planchette anomaly, could easily exceed £50,000 to £100,000 plus depending on condition and authentication. In the numismatic world, it's like finding a hidden gem in your spare change. Though standard 1982 20p coins are worth face value, the rare errors from this year have broken records at private sales and auctions. Let's explore what kind of values collectors are placing on these elusive examples. Black right arrow hash A 1982 mule 20p, if authenticated, can demand up to £80,000 to £100,000, $100,000 to $120,000 in pristine condition. Black right arrow hash off metal errors, especially those struck on bronze, meant for pennies, have been offered upward of £40,000, depending on strike clarity and uniqueness. Black right arrow hash misaligned or double-struck 1982 20p coins, though less dramatic, still can reach £1,000 to £5,000 or more, especially if certified by top grading agencies like NGC or PCGS. What drives the price? It's that first-year factor. Since 1982 was the first year the coin was issued, any unusual variety becomes historically important. Combine that with a massive demand from collectors, and you get skyrocketing prices. Also remember, many of these coins have never been officially listed by the Royal Mint, making them ghost errors, unrecorded, unconfirmed, but absolutely real and extremely lucrative for the lucky few who find them. Now, here's what you really need to know: how to check if your 1982 20p coin is a rare gem. 1. Examine the obverse and reverse. Look for any inconsistencies. Does the Queen's bust align strangely with the Tudor rose on the back? That could mean a mule error, a sure sign of ultra-rarity. 2. Check the weight and diameter. Standard 1982 20p coins weigh 5 grams and have a diameter of 21.4 millimeters. If your coin is lighter or heavier, it may have been struck on the wrong planchette, increasing its value tremendously. If parts of the design are missing or doubled, your coin may be a rare mint error, and even slight off-centering can be worth thousands. The 1982 20p is non-magnetic. If your coin sticks to a magnet, it was struck on the wrong metal, an extreme rarity. If you suspect you've found something unusual, send your coin to NGC or PCGS for authentication. A certified rare error from 1982 will unlock its full market value. The year 1983 marked a turning point in British coinage. It was the first year the modern £1 coin was introduced into circulation by the Royal Mint, replacing the old £1 banknote. Millions of these coins were minted that year, which makes the 1983 £1 coin seem common at first glance. But what if I told you that hidden among those millions is a coin so rare, so filled with minting mystery, that it has become one of the most sought-after coins by collectors across the globe? And here's the kicker: while the regular coin is worth its face value, a rare error version of the 1983 £1 coin has sold for tens of thousands of pounds, with some valuations exceeding £70,000, $85,000+ depending on condition and provenance. Let's break down why. The new £1 coin introduced in 1983 was part of a shift toward more durable currency. These coins were thicker, heavier, and built to last longer than paper notes. The standard design featured the royal coat of arms on the reverse and Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, sculpted by Arnold Machin. But here's where the story gets interesting: the Royal Mint released different versions of the 1983 £1 coin for collectors and general circulation. Collector versions were carefully crafted in proof and brilliant uncirculated sets. But among these, a tiny number of error coins escaped into the wild, coins not meant to exist. Most famously, a small batch of 1983 £1 coins were mistakenly struck with the wrong edge inscription, a massive blunder that turned an ordinary coin into an extraordinary one. So, what makes the rare version of this coin so valuable? On regular 1983 £1 coins, the edge should read, "Decus et tutamen," a Latin phrase meaning an ornament and a safeguard. However, some rare coins from this year were accidentally struck with no edge inscription at all, or, more famously, with the edge inscription meant for a different year or design. This error is believed to have happened when the Royal Mint was preparing sets for collectors, and a mismatched blank or die was used. That kind of mistake is incredibly rare, and because these error coins were never intended for circulation, very few were released to the public. Today, if you find a 1983 £1 coin with the wrong edge inscription or no inscription, you're likely holding something worth £5,000 to over £70,000, $6,000 to $85,000 USD, at auction, especially if authenticated by grading services like NGC or PCGS. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for: how to spot one of these rare coins. White heavy checkmark. Check the edge. The most famous error has the wrong inscription, such as the one used in 1984, "Nemo me impune licessit," "No one provokes me with impunity." If your 1983 coin says this instead of "Decus et tutamen," you may have struck gold, literally. White heavy checkmark. Look for no inscription. If your coin has a smooth edge with no lettering at all, it may also be a rare misstrike. Proof-like finish. Some of these error coins were found in collector sets, so they may have an unusually shiny or frosted appearance. White heavy checkmark. Weight and alignment. Make sure the coin's weight is consistent with a 1983 £1 coin, 9.5 g, and check the alignment. Error coins may have slightly rotated dies. If you suspect you have a rare coin, get it checked by a professional grading service. Even worn coins with these errors can be worth thousands. Let's talk real numbers. In 2016, one of these error 1983 £1 coins sold for over £72,000 at a UK auction. Another example fetched £20,000 on eBay, even with signs of wear. Collectors and dealers are constantly on the hunt for these rare variations. Why the high price? Because error coins like these combine historical significance, rarity, and a twist of minting mystery. There are likely fewer than 10 known examples of the most valuable misstrike, some say fewer than 5. That puts this coin in the same league as some of the rarest US coins and world numismatic treasures.